Nesta can go deep throat a fucking cactus for all I care about her character. I don't know if I said I wouldn't do this, but I'm doing it. I bought it. I wasn't planning on it, but I did. I'm sure all of you know what this is gonna be. I haven't even started it. I haven't even cracked it open. I don't want to say excited, but I have wanted this book for a while. Like, I really like Cassian, and I have been not doing great. So today we're gonna enjoy some stupid shit. This book is huge. I still hate the cover. I'm procrastinating reading the book that I picked up to experience escapism. That sounds about right, right? Talk to you later. I think this book might make me like Nesta. I don't like Nesta. But I like her a lot more than all the other characters right now. Like, all of them are so judgy and rude, but also, like, she's depressed, so they kind of don't know what to do about it. So they're like, fuck it. Cassian is the only one that can stand you, so go train with him, I guess. So yeah, that's my first update. The fan is on, you're gonna have to fucking deal. I'm 188 pages in and I'm just beginning to like Nesta. They're disaster masturbators, and I said it. They are both like these like really hard people that have like ooey gooey softness inside, and they're like, wait, do you hate me? Please don't hate me. They're just disaster characters, and I like that a lot, so I'm not hating it, which is a marked improvement on anything I've read this particular year, or all of the recent books that I've read by Sarah J. Maas. So, hello, it is Friday. I am 473 pages into this book, and I'm going a lot slower than I anticipated. I don't know if it's not because I'm not enjoying it, which is actually the most weirdest thing about this. I am actually really enjoying it. I think that the biggest thing is that it's moving very slowly, in the sense that it's taking its time, which I am enjoying, but some of the actual plot parts, I'm like, meh, whatever, get back to the sex and the training stuff. Which, yeah, that makes a lot of sense why, you know, the smut is why I'm reading this, but also, like, damn, Sarah J. Maas was like, oh, you guys didn't like Crescent City because it didn't have smut? Here you go. Here's the Nesta book. It's got mostly smut. So there's that. But yeah, end of this update. Catch you later. Did I wait to film this video until after I chopped my hair off? Yes. We are not talking about it. Okay. Let's talk about ACOSF. Does anyone call it this? Because I don't think anyone calls it this, but I want to call it that, so we're moving on. What's up, nerds? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Maddie. If you're new here, I hope your day is going well. And today we're going to be talking about A Court of Silver Flames. Yes, by Sarah J. Maas. I read this book a minute ago, and it's one of like the only books I read last month. I have not been reading all that much, and what I've been reading, I haven't been enjoying all that much. But I thought for a hot second with this book that I was gonna 5-star it. Which is weird for me because Sarah J. Maas and I don't tend to get along if you've been on the channel for any length of time. But this book was so good for most of it. And then the ending happened and I didn't fuck with the ending. So there's gonna be spoilers towards the end of the video. I'm gonna just go over kind of the things that I liked about it. It's gonna be just a chill, fun video. I'm gonna go into stuff now. I don't know. If you don't want to be spoiled for anything about this book, please don't watch this. And if you really, really love Sarah J. Maas, also please don't watch this, because people get so mad about me saying, hey, Sarah J. Maas might need to grow as a writer, because she does, and then they keep watching my video even though they don't want me to say that, which I don't fucking, it's up to you. You do you, boo. I get the view anyway. In this book, I really enjoyed Nesta's character development. I did not like Nesta at all going into this book. She was my least favorite character, as you saw in my previous video. She just pissed me off to no end. But we got a really, really well and interesting look into her character development and how she got to be who she was before we met her, which A+ job. Go over the fact that she was so angry at her father that she was refusing to help her sister Feyre and Elaine to really live, and she'd been emotionally manipulated by her mother for years before that, and she felt entitled to a world that she was never going to have again, and she had just basically given up at a very young age. The challenge that she was going through going down those steps felt real, and it definitely felt like a block between her addiction, her depression, screwing people that she was only with because they made her feel bad about herself. Sarah Def said, hey, you're gonna read this for escapism, but you're also gonna be confronted by some of the worst personality traits that you have. I also thought it was really interesting that the plotline of the whole Queen was like seriously a backdrop to this story. Most of the time with Sarah J Maas books, I'm just like, where's the plot? What's supposed to be happening right now? And with this, there was definitely this like arcing story of the death trove and all of that, or dead trove, I don't know what it's called. But it wasn't necessarily like the forefront of the book. And honestly, the fact that the forefront of the book was the development of Nesta's relationships with everyone around her was actually really interesting. I really enjoyed that. Is this book too long? Yes, it's always going to be too long. It's Sarah J Maas. This Queen definitely felt like the pre-season bad guy that you know is going to get vanquished because there's going to be a bigger bad that the Scooby Gang has to fight. I also really enjoyed that Nesta was petty as hell. She just doesn't like Rhys because he's like too suave. Fucking hilarious. I did enjoy that Amren and Nesta were like kind of beefing, but they should have been best buds. But Amren was just like, you stank and you need to get your shit together. I like that a lot. Do you feel like Amren could have been a more guiding force in Nesta's recovery though, because of how grandiose this power was supposed to be? Actually, pretty much everyone in the inner circle didn't feel like they were getting any development other than Cassian, and Azriel was kind of there sometimes. Yeah, and more, I'm getting to more, just you wait. Bringing it back to Cassian, my boy is a struggle bussin' in this book. He's coming in his pants, he's babysitting someone who is not about that life, and his profession of love needs some work. I also really like the fact that Cassie and Nesta didn't just have the, oh, you're sexy, but we shouldn't have sex kind of relationship. There was also this kind of focus on the fact that they do have different classes. So Cassian is a general, but he's treated like a soldier and kind of almost a second-class citizen in his world, whereas Nesta was raised to be royalty, or at least marry very, very rich. And that puts a pressure on them that I wasn't expecting from this particular book, because we haven't really had that political like class dynamics, and I actually really enjoyed that and how they meshed that in with the already kind of trauma bonding that they were experiencing. It literally was like a court of trauma bonding and lots of sex. And let's talk about those sex scenes, why not, right? They were a lot, and there were a lot of them, which I don't know if Sarah J Maas heard my complaints about the fact that Crescent City had no sex and decided that she was gonna write all of the sex scenes, but honestly, I was okay with it. Yes, they're Sarah J Maas sex scenes. They're the reason why most of us read these books. And are they written perfectly? No, but they're fun, and I don't really have a lot of complaints, but I do have a contender for the next meme of the month. We gotta talk about the next thing to replace velvet-covered steel, and this one's for the ladies. Burning silken fist. Did Sarah know what she was doing when she wrote that line? Because it just has the same cadence as velvet-covered steel. But I don't honestly think anything should be burning. That's a bad sign. But moving on from the sex scenes, because we could talk about those all day. But there was no flying sex in this one, so we probably don't have to. Let's talk about more instead. She's in like 2 fucking scenes in this whole book. And she's one of the main characters, supposedly. And one of the scenes, she's only there to make Nesta jealous because Cassian is carrying her away. She doesn't really have any lines. So why am I pissed that there is not more of more in this book? She is the only canonical gay character. There is a singular instance of another character, another woman, saying, ooh, she's attractive. But in my first edition of this book, there's a typo in that line. That is the only time, contextually, that a queer character is talking, blushing, in the sense that more is attractive and might want to start something, but there's a typo in that line. Fuck you. Size and bisexual. Look, I'm not gonna lie, I know I'm being petty about this. I know that SJM has not alluded to being queer, and she may very well not want to write a queer story because she may not be able to get it right. All I'm asking for is a crumb of gay, please? Let Moore be the hot femme that she is and flirt with whoever she likes on the page, please. I got a comment recently on my From Blood and Ash, which is basically like A Court of Thorns and Roses, just less consent, which is ridiculous. I got a comment that basically said, does every book have to have queer characters? And I went back to say, yes, every book should have queer characters because queer people exist every day. And then I realized I had blocked that guy off my channel because he's obnoxious. So, living in an aggressively heteronormative world, I would like my escapist fiction to actually show me the queer characters that people say are accepted in this world, but are never really on the page. Ever, even when they're one of the main characters. I really hope that Moore's romance does happen on the page and that we get to experience it, or else Sarah J. Maas just needs to say she's not gonna write it. Like, one of the two. Don't half see it, don't put her on the page for 10 seconds and write her out of the scene or write her out of the book, and don't put a typo in the one sentence that's actually queer in a 700-800 page book. Just saying. And despite all of that with Moore, I was still really enjoying this book. But let's get down to why I really didn't like this. Now, let's be real. I'm still giving this book like 3 stars, 3.5, because I really, really, really enjoyed Nesta's development. But most of that was ruined at the last 10% of the book. And if you haven't read it, if you don't want to be spoiled, it's not really necessarily something that's far out of reach. Most people probably clocked it faster than I did because I honestly thought we were going a different direction. But if you don't want to be spoiled, definitely leave now. But is everybody gone? Did you leave? Okay. What I really got pissed about was the fact that Cassian and Nesta were mates. Okay, so we're back with an update. I'm on 642 page-wise, and I'm annoyed because I have been on the bandwagon the entire book for Nesta and Cassian, which is pretty impressive considering the fact that I wanted to hate this book specifically because I didn't like Nesta. I didn't want her with my perfect cinnamon roll Cassian, who was my favorite character other than Moore, which we'll get to her in the actual review, I'm sure. But I was so really happy about the profession of love that these two had, how really emotional it was. I'm not gonna cry or anything, but I really liked it. And then they're fucking mates. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm gonna put the book over there. Pissed off. Here's the thing. I see myself in Nesta. I don't like seeing myself in my least favorite character in this fucking world, but I do. And when she reacts badly to the word mate and how it's taking away her humanity, and Cassian says that he's shackled to her because he's her mate and he has to be in love with her, I kind of understand why my girl doesn't like that, because it's lazy fucking writing. It's lazy writing. You don't have to explain how these two fell in love, even though Sarah did a great job of explaining how these two fell in love. They trauma bonded for the entire book. They were there for each other. They became friends, and now they're mates, and they're just destined to be in love. Or destined to be together. Destined to have this sexy fucking urges. Because for some reason, Sarah J. Maas Books has this concept that there is one person out there for you, and it just doesn't make sense. I don't like that trope. It's such a stupid storytelling trope that books like this shouldn't... Shut up, PS4. I'm annoyed. I'll finish the book now. I was really liking it. And now I'm upset. as you can see. Why would you have them work on building this relationship authentically and then 700 pages plus into your book, you're just like, oh yeah, they're soulmates. They didn't have to work. They're already in love. Now, I'm a chronically single person. I do not believe there's a singular person in the world for me. And that is something that's very much my personal opinion. You do not have to agree with me on that. But the concept of mates is such an overused and tired trope. And on top of that, it's fucking lazy. It's just lazy writing. But after all of that, Nesta gets pissed when she finds out what happened. She reacts almost as badly as I did to this information, which once again, me relating to my least favorite character was a weird concept for me. I do think it's interesting that we do have the Lucian, Elaine, Azriel dynamic that seems to be happening where mates aren't necessarily destined to be together. And we do know that Rhys's parents were mates, but that didn't end up working out. But you've developed these characters and you could have just let them not be mates and just let them be there for each other while they're going through some really serious shit. And then maybe established later that like soulmates can be like developed, but it's supposed to be very rare that this happens, and like everybody's been finding their mate, and it's just been so stupid. Cassian even used the term shackled, which I don't know about you guys, but it triggered me almost as much as it triggered Nesta. I don't remember exactly when that was said, but I'm pretty sure that was used. And she didn't take it well, and I didn't take it well either. But 50 pages later, Nesta's giving up her godlike abilities to save Feyre and all these people around her because Feyre's having a baby. You know, Nesta's gotten that good dick, so she doesn't have to be a god anymore. It's just, to me, like, considering what Nesta had gone through and what Nesta was going through at the time that she was actually told this, that, you know, it didn't matter that she was falling in love with Cassian, she was just destined to be with him. It honestly felt like that would have been a fucking excellent villain origin story. Do you get me? Like, it would have been badass. It would suck, but it would have been badass. Like, it was my villain origin story. Like, you literally said that these people worked together and were to get, like, even though from that point on, I just didn't give a fuck. I was like, oh, we're gonna wrap up the B plot. So I guess the queen's here and Nesta's gonna kill her and then Feyre's having a baby and okay, cool, all right, whatever, moving on. But let's do some rapid fire things that I did like. Number one, I really enjoyed the house and the fact that the house kind of attuned with Nesta and gave her romance books. That was adorable. Number two, I did really like the fact that Nesta developed her own like circle of friends. I don't remember any of their names, but they were cool. Number three, I did really like Azriel's role in this book as just the chaotic cockblock. All right, that was too much niceness. Let's go back to the things that I don't like. Number one, couldn't give a flying fuck that Feyre was pregnant, that she was pregnant. Can you get pregante? Number two, on the same note, I don't understand why the dudes in this book were like, you know, the women would probably need to know this. Should we tell them? Nah. Like, you don't think Feyre might need to know that the baby she's gonna give birth to might fucking kill her? Number three, why is Tamlin still here? I asked this in the last book. Like, I get it, I'm not an abuse apologizer in any span of the matter, but he should have just died. Like, for some reason, the Night Court just randomly finds this dude and bullies him for no reason. And it's like, he's minding his business. And the dude looks like this. You just leave him alone. Write him out of the story. You don't need him anymore. Move on. He should move on. Why hasn't he moved on? Feyre and him aren't mates, so why can't he just find his mate and go fuck off like somewhere else? Please? It just doesn't make any sense. Like, he's not a worthwhile character at all. All right, but that is it for my ACOSF review. I'm gonna now film 3 rant reviews and 1 video for next week's video. So, or sometime soon, I don't know when I'm uploading it. So definitely, if you like this video, hit the subscribe button, because I'm gonna be doing more stuff. If you got to the end of the video, please put your favorite TikTok reference in the comments down below. I'm gonna go now, guys. Like, subscribe, all the good stuff. Bye!